And where someone sees deprivation, I see the start of my own journey. Growing up in a third world country gave me a unique view on...
Yo, what's good guys? Okay, so for this video it's a little bit different. So a few weeks ago I was away in London shooting a series for Vanquish. So I've been working with Vanquish for about 3 months now, so it's been some time. So since I've been with Vanquish, they've been super cool with me. They've took me to body power, so you've seen the body power highlights, so that was a very awesome time. And they did really put me in the forefront of you guys, meeting you guys, which was insane for me. Like you guys have seen my transition, you know, through YouTube from when I started to where I am right now. So things are really picking off. And to be honest, when I was there, it kind of made me realize, like, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot of things going on. And what I mean by that is, like, for a person, an individual, to be in a situation where you meet all these people, where you've actually, you know, grown a following, where you've actually empowered people's lives and changed people's lives, and you actually meet them in person, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, especially, you know, that's a lot of years, that's a lot of time, that's a lot of work. It made me think, like, how did I even get here? Like, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I seek from this? And you know, I was going through my DMs, and one of the questions I get often is, how do you stay motivated? What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? You know, what's that one thing that gets you going? You know, when you break your arm and you have to start from the beginning. When you have an operation, you're not feeling well, you know, you're bedbound for a month. You know, you lose your page and lose tons of followers and have to start from the beginning. You know, like, what is it that makes you get up again? You know, you have the worst workout, but still, you still come back tomorrow and try to do better. You know, and these are all the things I've experienced and I've been through, you know, but a lot of you don't really understand my full background. So I know right now you see a lot of these things, you know, you see me, you know, having a supplement company, you see me having a clothing company. You know, this for me is far beyond what I expected, you know, like to be living a life like this. But one thing that I will truly say is, you know, I'm very humbled and appreciate every ounce of everything that I have in my life. And that all started when my parents gave me the opportunity to live in the UK, because my parents did what they can to give us a better opportunity, me and my brother. So we came in this country, and for me, I saw an opportunity to better myself. And to be honest, where do I get my motivation from? I think it's mostly got to do with my upbringing. So, you know, how I grew up as an individual, you know, the struggles that I've been through, you know, as a kid. But honestly, I think my ultimate motivation comes from my desire to become a better person. And what keeps me going is the, you know, is the goal to be a better person overall. You know, it's not money, you know, it's not growing a social media following, it's not having a nice car, you know, it's purely, you know, being in peace with myself, you know, being happy with what I'm doing, being happy with who I am as an individual. And it's very powerful when you know, when you say that. But honestly, that's me, and that's what I do. You know, everything about me. You know, I'm a creator. I enjoy making things. I enjoy, you know, going, you know, traveling, going places, seeing new things. You know, looking at nature, looking at different elements. There's so many things that I use as a source of motivation and as a source of way to be in peace with myself. And little things go far beyond, you know, like my passion for, you know, like landscapes, for example. You know, like I've said, you know, I've been into art, so the way I, you know, my perspective of the world might be different to most people, and my overall perception of life itself, you know, it might be very different. But I think motivation truly comes from who you are as an individual, and you gotta figure out that thing, you know, that why are you doing this? What's the reason for you to be in the gym in the first place? What's the reason for you to start a company? What's the reason for you to, you know, to try to make $1 million, you know, like what's the purpose of that? So for me, I really had to dig deep for this one. And to be honest, it's very hard to answer when people ask me that. You know, most it's always the case of saying, you know, just write them down, write your goals down, you know, make sure, you know, you understand what you want and just work day by day to make sure you get there. But I think it goes far beyond that, because when you truly struggle, when life does hit you, you know, when you're in that state where you have to make a decision, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to dig deep and find that answer. That's gonna allow you to keep progressing. But guys, hopefully this video that I shot with Vanquish is really gonna help you understand, you know, where my motivation comes from. But honestly, you gotta really dig deep and understand yourself as an individual. That is where you're gonna get the motivation from. It's gonna give you the answer to why you should be getting up every morning, you know, first thing in the morning at 6 o'clock to chase your goal. That's what it takes. But it will take time. You have to mature into it. You know, I didn't just suddenly wake out of bed and, you know, be like, you know, oh, I got goals, you know, I'm gonna do this, you know, go on my whiteboard and start ticking off tasks. It was never like that. You know, it's a matter of planning, writing everything down, being very explicit with what you want in your life. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to live that life, you gotta do everything you can. Like I've shown you on my phone, I write everything down. I've got over thousands and thousands of notes, then all the way to 2011, where I told myself I need to change my life, and I've shown you guys, and that's where it starts. And every time that I have an idea, I write it down. So write it down and find the reason why you're doing that. I think ultimately for me, my reason and my goal, you know, my idea, you know, the thing that drives me to become or to chase my current goals is, you know, I think it dwells from the ideas of me as a kid, of what I wanted as a kid. You know, like growing up, you know, I lived a very natural life of, you know, of just living. You know, you gotta do what you can and do with what you have. You know, being born and raised in Zimbabwe, it was nothing like compared to England. You know, it was like you had to really go through life and, you know, the struggle, you know, the very basic things that I take for granted right now. You know, looking back, I remember as if it was yesterday. You know, like simple things like wearing shoes. Like, I think I've only told one person this, but, you know, back there, you know, some people might be able to relate to this. Like, we didn't have any shoes. Like, we used to walk barefooted. You know, you'd be lucky if it, you know, a pair of shoes to wear to school. That's how tough it was. Like, you know, that was just a way of living. We never thought anything of it. You know, if you wanted water, you had to go and get water. You wouldn't just open a tap. You know, you wouldn't just expect to get it. You know, there were situations where you had to walk to go and get water. You know, my grandparents, they grew up in a more rural area where everything you wanted, you had to make it for yourself. So, you know, hopefully now you're beginning to understand how deep-rooted this is in my head. You know, the whole idea of being driven, being motivated. So for me, it's different to the next person, but hopefully I can, you know, embed that into your head, that, you know, it's more of a state of mind than anything. And you'll find something that's going to allow you to keep going. Because ultimately, that's the only thing that's going to carry you when you're truly struggling. And for me, you know, I've struggled. So I think it's very hard sometimes to find something in my current lifestyle right now that really pushes me to that limit. But it's not to say I don't struggle, because I do. You know, as a student, my first year was tough. It was one of the toughest years. You know, I felt isolated. You know, I was literally living in my room on my own. Like, that's not the best place to be. And my mindset, you know, at times it would get in a very deep position where I really had to reflect and almost meditate and figure out, what am I doing in this situation? You know, ideally, you know, you want to be meeting people, socializing with people, because it's not healthy mentally. So guys, you gotta figure out that you gotta figure out your why you're doing it. Ultimately, that's the thing. So guys, I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let you watch the video. Honestly, I truly hope you take something away from this, because I'll put everything I can into this. And I just want to say a big thank you to RGO Film House, aka Gas, who filmed this and helped me bring it all together, and the team and the guys at Vanquish. Honestly, without them, you know, I don't think I would have been able to convey my message that powerful. But guys, I appreciate the artistry in this, because it's just something else. So enjoy it. Peace.
One of the most important lessons I've learned throughout life is everything is about perception. They see failure, I see opportunity. They see struggle, I see achievement. And where someone sees deprivation, I see the start of my own journey. Growing up in a third world country gave me a unique view on what really matters in life. What things are worth my worries and what things aren't. I left Zimbabwe at the age of 8, and from a very young age I realized I was incredibly emotionally driven. A young life of poverty made me cherish my own emotions over materialistic things. Growing up with only my mind to keep me occupied, I developed a creative outlook on the world, an outlook that would eventually develop into a career. Studying architecture is like a journey similar to what we all go through in bodybuilding. Everything we do to build something takes time, and everything works in stages. There's no fast route to creating a design of substance or achieving a detailed physique. The fundamentals and foundations of our work is what will help us build something we can take true pride in. I think that frustration will be a commonplace on our journeys, but we need to appreciate those struggles. We need to remember that we all started from a desire to create, but what will ultimately keep us going is our eternal sense of hope.
Don't try to fight, nothing you can do.